Hello and welcome to Derek McGuire's Week 13 Coding Assignment Project video. This week I'm doing a Pet Store REST API project, and this week just starting that project. Here I've got the entity relationship diagram, which shows the Pet Store database that's going to be created here. I've got the Pet Store table with the primary key, Pet Store ID, got the different fields here, Pet Store name, address, city, the employee table, primary key with the employee ID, and there's a one-to-many relationship here between the Pet Store ID, Pet Store table, and the employee Pet Store ID foreign key. And then over here we've got the customer table, primary key, customer ID, and using a join table here to connect the Pet Store ID to the customer ID, a many-to-many relationship. And so basically this application is going to run SpringBoot with the JPA to help create entities that are going to create the tables in our project. So I just want to show here we've got the Pet Store schema, the tables here. There's nothing, no tables are in this project, in this database yet. So over here in Eclipse we've got the project itself. There are a few pieces here, the YAML, the POM, and this is where we have our dependencies. Actually went over here to Spring Initializer and got the dependencies for the Spring Web, Spring Data JPA, MySQL Driver, and Lombok. And those would be added here into the POM. Each dependency is listed here. And this is all actually in a Maven project. So Eclipse has Maven within it. You go and create a new Maven project in a workspace, and it is called Pet Store in this case. You've got the source main Java, source main resources, and you've got ability to test here as well. And it creates a POM file, which we're looking at right now. In this, the main method is actually here in this Pet Store application, and this SpringBoot application it brings in the import here for the SpringBoot application, and we actually call that here Spring application.run, where we have the class with the arguments. And then we've got the JPA Entities. Each of these classes, the customer, employee, and the Pet Store, which were also in the schema as tables, are all entities. And this is basically going to automatically create a join table. As you can see here in the Pet Store entity and the employee entity, it's going to join these two together, Pet Store ID and employee ID, Pet Store ID and customer ID. And so those are those entities, JPA entities. The application.yaml, yet another markup language file here, is being used to connect. And then so let's go ahead and run this. So I'm going to run the main method, run as a Java application, and you can see here the console is showing the Spring. We've got the Hibernate showing the drop table if it exists, and then we've got Hibernate create table Pet Store, and this is actually still running. So then everything looks successful here. I'm going to go refresh, and I've got my tables created. So customer ID, no data yet, but it has been created. And that is it for week 1. That's what we created here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your week.